Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Wednesday, February 19th, 2025. I, of course, am here with the Daily Mortgage Trade Update, the only place on the web where you can join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, broadcasting to you from Facebook and YouTube here in the Smoky Mountains, where it is snowing this morning, looking a little wintry. I will tell you, I don't mind that I'm going to some warm weather next week. So if you're here live, say good morning. If you are watching on the replay, go ahead and give me a hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you were here. Either way, don't forget to smash that like button, tag an fellow friend, share this post in a group. If you would like a reminder that I am going live, you can go ahead and get that by text. You can sign up at hmmr.io/reminder. You can also use this cool QR code over here. You can opt out anytime, but if you just want a quick text reminder that I'm going live, you can go ahead and sign up for that. Got a question of the day for you. Also, Ron Siegel says today is National Chocolate Mint Day. His son's favorite ice cream is chocolate mint. I leave out the mint part, chocolate for Ron. So, but I have a question of the day for you. Coffee or tea? What's your pick and how do you take it? Coffee or tea? I'm a coffee guy myself. And originally I drank coffee with sugar and milk, and then eventually just milk, and then now just black. So I'm a black coffee guy. Just drinking my coffee black, and it gets easy that way. So what do you drink? What's your thing? We're going to circle back and talk about it. Let's go ahead and say hi to all the live folks here this morning, see who it is that we've got, and say good morning. We got Mr. Ron Siegel. I am going to Mexico next week, my friend, Punta Mita, to stay over at a Four Seasons resort over there. And I have a mastermind group as well. Dan Crowley, good morning. Jerry Avila, good to see you, sir. Bobby Searson, good morning. Great to have you here. We got Tim Klyla and Megan Lindberg. Good morning. Bernie Brickler, James Mahan, good to see you, sir. Mike Brown, Rob Stewart, Amy Blauser. Hello, all. So many familiar faces. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Snow day in Arkansas, huh? 6 to 8 inches last night. And this is Mahan. There's a joke here, right? We got 6 to 8 inches last night, but bump. I know this is a family show, though, so we're gonna keep it clean. So the question of the day for you today is an easy one: coffee or tea? What's your pick, and how do you take it? Put that in your comments, and we'll circle around and chat about it in a little while. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on with the markets this morning while y'all are coming in. Good morning, Mark, David, Jason Hansen, Mike Morano, great to see you. Allison Foy, good morning. All right, so mortgage-backed securities down a whopping 3 basis points to start the day. Certainly nothing to get worried about. But what you can see here is we're starting to get a little bit of a downward trend forming. Let me go ahead and we'll throw up a chart and we'll kind of take a look at it here. So if we zoom in a little bit here, how do I zoom in again? I forgot. Oh, there we go. I got to move over. And all right, there we are. So let's go ahead. We could see, remember, we want to go ahead and let's make this yellow so we can actually see it. And then we were down. Oh, what a pain in the neck. It just switches. Then we were up, and now we are coming down again. Every time that draws a line, it switches out of that. All right. So taking a look here. Let's see with the dot, right? No, I don't like the dot. That's annoying. Let's go with an arrow. All right. So taking a look here, you could see we went down, lost ground, right? Rebounded after we got that inflation data. And then now we're kind of drifting lower. Rate sheets really haven't moved much. I mean, you're looking at the very low 7s, high 6s. Same thing, even if you use blue. We, of course, last Wednesday when the inflation data came out, it was worse. Then it got a little bit improved. But this is a good time in my mind to go ahead and lock some loans is what I'm starting to think. So if I have something that's closing in 15 days or less, right in the next couple of weeks, I would consider locking after with what we're seeing happening here in the markets, which direction things are going, what's kind of driving action right now. There's more tariff talk. uh, President Trump floating 25% tariff conversations out there for automobiles, drugs, pharmaceuticals, and also for semiconductor chips. Um, he's again, markets aren't really panicking over this. The idea being, hey, is this yet another one of those negotiating tactics, or will it really happen? And he says that he will make an announcement in April, at the beginning of April. Um, about that, and he wants to give companies an opportunity to you know come in before announcing new tariffs. So that's kind of what is being pushed out there. This is pushing up some stuff over in Europe more so than it is here in the US, but we have seen the 10-year treasury yield. Let me refresh this one. Let me move over. We've seen the 10-year treasury yield worsen seriously. All right, let me refresh this again. All right, there we go. So we're at 4.56 for the 10-year. Same thing. You could see that it, after kind of coming down, it's moved all the way up. So you'll see that there. The mortgage bonds, you can see down here if we take a look. Rate sheets today going to be similar to yesterday, just a hair off, mainly because we lost ground yesterday afternoon. Pricing came out right around 10, 10:30. Mortgage-backed securities were around 100.75. They peaked at the day around 100.80, and then they came back down, ended the day around 100.68. I mean, we're really talking about small movements on rate sheets. You're not seeing rates really move as much as you are pricing. This morning, a little bit of a rebound. So although you can cautiously float to start the day, again, I would be looking whenever we start to see things move in this kind of direction. We've got a couple of days of things ticking up. We're testing some support here for the 25-day moving average on the 10-year treasury, but I don't necessarily know that that's going to hold up too much. And depending on which direction things go, it's just not a bad idea. If you don't have a lot of chance of improvement, why bother floating loans that are closing in the next couple of weeks, right? So if it's closing the next couple of weeks, I would go ahead and consider locking it. Cautiously float anything else coming out. Next Thursday, we're going to get that PCE inflation data. The CPI data came in a little bit hot. We'll see if the PCE rather comes in a little bit better. But either way, you're not likely to see any big moves that are going to improve mortgage rates from here. We're just not in that environment. Today, the Fed meeting minutes come out, but reprice risk on the day is low. It's not really likely that we're going to see much movement on that. Expectations of a Fed rate cut in March, totally non-existent. Expectations of a cut in May, basically non-existent. So you start looking at June before the conversation starts to really get serious about the possibility of a rate cut according to markets. And they are leaning more towards a no than a yes at this point. We've seen that kind of vacillate back and forth. We'd really have to see some great data coming in to see this turnaround. Markets expecting to see a cut possibly in July, more likely in September, and almost definitely by the end of the year. That's one rate cut. I mean, this certainly isn't going to drive mortgage rates down. We're just the Fed rate movement not having quite as much of an effect as it was having for the last few years. Now we're starting to see more of that talk about everything else that's going on, expectations, about the tariffs, and taxes will become another conversation soon. So we'll see more about that as well. Again, whether you love them or hate them, really, irregardless, we're looking at how does all of this affect mortgage rates and which way will rates go. So that's kind of where they're. Good morning, Cindy Pulliam. Let's go ahead now and let's hit the question of the day and see what it is that you guys enjoy. Let me pull it up here. So the question of the day, once again, was coffee or tea? What's your pick and how do you take it? Me, I drink it black now. I'm lazy drinking black coffee, and it is what it is. So let's see what y'all had to say. Jerry Avila, team coffee. How do you take it, Jerry? How do you like your coffee? Ron's coffee with a little cream. Yeah, you should go black. But cream takes a little bit of the bitterness out sometimes with the edge off. Tim's a tea guy. Earl Grey, hot. Tim, are you British? No, coffee, definitely not flavored coffee. Who drinks flavored coffee? My wife does. I don't like flavored coffee. Sean Segeloff, black coffee guy for years. Black iced coffee replaced your soda issues. Yeah, that's certainly better for you than all the sugar. Mayhan says 2 cups of coffee in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and a cup of tea in the evening before bed. Amy, I like both coffee black, and I love green tea. Yeah, I like green tea too. I like black tea. I drink a lot of iced tea, and even though I'm in the South, I don't drink sweet tea. Not a big. I put a little bit in it sometimes, but not real sweet. I'll mix a little bit with the regular tea. Brandy, coffee, cold brew, not iced coffee. Cold brew is milder, less acidic than iced coffee because it's slow brewed. Yeah, it's definitely a write off. But it's a legit mastermind. Black coffee for Mr. Rob Stewart. Oh, with the fake sweetener. Yeah, that stuff there. Megan Lindbergh coffee, a little flavored creamer in there. Mike Moranos, great Scott Bessent interview last night. I did not even see that. Where was that? I didn't see any talk of that this morning. Where did he do an interview for? Was it like Fox something? Is probably, or one of those. Let me know where that was, Mike, because I'm not really too familiar with it. Jason Hansen, coffee with almond milk, tea in the PM, no sweetener or milk. Yeah. Randy Tickle's black coffee, if at home, isn't bitter when you make it in the press. Yeah, I like a French press. Yeah, ha. The drug jokes there. Mike Tebow, black coffee guy. Jerry said one thing to help inflation diminish is Russia ending the war against Ukraine. Yeah, and we'll see. There's certainly a lot of talk about that, and the current administration working directly with Russia. It's definitely shaking up the geopolitical scene. You've got again, I don't want to sound like I'm a fanboy. I'm not a huge, I'm not a Trumper, I guess you call it, or whatever, right? But it's kind of funny that this thing's been going on for 3 years. There was one certain way that it was being approached to resolve it. Even when it started, I'm gonna say I have not been a big Ukraine supporter. I know that that's not popular, and it's something I generally don't talk about, but I don't necessarily think with what was going on and talk of NATO, which is the one hard line in the sand that Russia and Putin had been drawing, and there was talk of NATO, and so they broke in, and it's a complicated issue, a lot more so. Everyone paints it good guy, bad guy, but I don't really see it that way. So we'll see how this pans out. And it's kind of funny to watch that Zelensky, what's his name, right? Has been totally, pushed aside. Zelensky, rather, has been pushed aside for, all of this and says, well, we won't, deal with this. Or Trump has said, if we're going to provide support, then what, give us some goods. What do you guys have for minerals? And there's been talk on that. So we'll see where all this goes. What is definitely doing is pressuring bonds over in Europe, because Europe has for decades leaned hard on the United States for military might as part of NATO. And now with the current administration saying, maybe we're not going to be as big of a participant in NATO. Trump isn't saying he's going to pull out, but he just doesn't want to carry it, doesn't want to see the US carry everything. So now they're all having to step up, and there's a lot of talk going on there. So that could absolutely help with rates later on, depending on what happens. Tim Pillsbury, black coffee with fresh ground beans. Oh, you guys, all you bougie coffee drinkers. I drink the sludge. Brett Baer. Okay. Yeah. So I was looking at the Bessent interviews with Brett Baer. Yeah, I agree with that, but that's there's a difference, but it doesn't mean I don't have my own thoughts on it and don't agree with everything, even though overall, I support a lot of the different things. So, all right, my friends. Well, that's what we got going on this morning. Again, one more time. When it comes to lock advice, I'd be locking some of the stuff near term. We're not really seeing a huge urgency. Let me repeat myself. Mortgage-backed securities are only down a few basis points on the day. We could see a bit of a recovery, so cautiously float to start. We're down 2, but we're definitely stalling, and you always see it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. What would we have to do to see things move up? We'd have to see the PCE data come in with lighter inflation data next week. Something with the tariffs would have to kind of break down, but there's not a huge thing. But without a lot of improvement on the docket, if you will, I mean, the chances of seeing rates improve from here aren't that high. So for loans closing near term, I would lock. Anything that's longer, even if we do lose ground, it's very likely we'll come back here. It's just not likely that we're going to see rates continue to move much higher. So that's why I kind of take the stance that I do on that one. I just think that loans that are closing near term need to take a little less risk. So, all right, my friends, well, that's what we got going on. Tim said it's not bougie, it's easy, dude. Yeah, I mean, grinding coffee beans is not hard. I get you, and a press is certainly not bougie. But I'll take my old Mr. Coffee drip and ground coffee. I'm good with that. I'm lazy. So, all right, my friends, I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll see if anything's changed. All right, take care, everybody. Make it a fantastic day. Bye bye.